popping in today. I want to go over, I know we've touched on double loading, but you know, this is more of a lettering group than it is painting. But I do want to make sure that you get the hang of this technique because it is something that can just elevate your work, especially if you're going to paint on canvas or wood. So I want to go over how to double load again. I have a flat brush here. This is a flat number 6. I'm going to dip half of that side in pink, and I'm going to dip half of that side in blue. Now, if you know color, you know pink and blue mixed will make like a lavender color. So I'm just going to dip the one side in the pink, the other side in the blue, and you'll see about half and half of the brush is covered. Then I'm going to just come here in between my two colors, and I'm going to pull my brush just back and forth a little bit till I see those two colors starting to blend together on my palette. You can see that on the brush here. I'm going to just dip back in again so that I have enough paint on my brush. Maybe just do a few little dips that way, just to make sure my paintbrush is nice and loaded. I'm going to leave that there. Now right here, when I come in to do a letter, depending on, you choose what color you want on which side of a letter, but I'm going to do the blue to the left, the pink to the right. So of course, just doing a double load with paint and you're coming to do a letter, you would just lay the brush down flat and pull the brush to where you need it to be. Now I'm just doing it straight there. Because I want to make sure I have enough paint on my brush all the time, I'm going to come back over and dip half pink, half blue, give it just a quick little blot here in between, and come back over. I'm going to keep my blue to the left, pink to the right. I may have said that backwards and ended up doing it backwards, but we'll just keep doing it this way now. And then to do a curved line, you want to set your brush down to where those bristles are flat, and it will leave like a flat line there if you're doing top to bottom. So flat line, press the brush, you're going to push just a little bit and start pulling with your curve, and then you're going to pull back around with your curve, making almost like a rainbow that's sideways, and you're going to lift that brush back up to the top and lift up. Now you'll see right there I ran out of paint on my brush. Because paper is dry, it will suck the moisture out. I can just take my brush and cover that again, or I can get more paint and just come back over it again. The more I go over that, the more blended together the colors will be. So I'm going to keep coming back over and making sure I have plenty of paint on my brush, because I am working on paper. It will suck the moisture out. And then I'm going to come over here as if you were doing a bee and do a double, like a double hump here. So it's flat against the paper, flat down on the paper. Then I'm going to pull over like I'm drawing a bee. I'm using that flat part on the brush, pulling over back to my left and lifting up. And then I'm going to do it again here. And using these strokes, I can create a bee with my lettering. And you can keep coming back over it, getting it to exactly how you want it to look. But that's just a fun way to shade your letters at one time. I'm going to come down here and do the H the same way. I made my letter a little bit thicker than my paintbrush, so I'm just going to keep coming back over here and grabbing more paint, and I'm going to let them blend together and shade my letter. This is another one of those little humps. You can put the brush and pull back up, and when you come, just this part here you'll want to play around with just a little bit. Play around with your lettering, play around with your painting to create interesting letters. If you've seen the birthday sign I had done for a little girl named Sloan, I use this double load technique to shade her letters. Now, maybe you don't want to do like pink and blue, you want to do like pink and pink. So I'll grab, this is just a burgundy color. I'm just going to add a few drops here next to my pink. So then what you can do also, you don't have to use the flat brush either, although it does make it easier when you're doing a side load. I'm going to dip fully into pink here, and I'm just going to fill in where I've drawn my letters. I'm not really taking time to be really careful, but when I am lettering, I go very slow so that it's nice and careful. So then, say I'm doing this really deep color with the pink, instead of doing a full double load where half the brush is one color, half the brush is the other, I may just come in here and make sure you can see. I may just come in here and just dip that one corner of the brush into that really dark pink. And then I'll just kind of blend it together a little bit on my palette. And then I can always come back in and get more of the darker color. You can see how that blending is taking shape there. So then I can just come down here and just do the same. I'm going to put my brush on, push down and follow my lettering, and then lift up. And I can do the same on the one side here. You'll just see where that letter takes on like a shaded look. Let's just try it again down here. With these types of letters, I don't usually just come to the paper and start writing. I like to write it out first. That way I can make sure everything's kind of spaced the same. My lettering is kind of like, this isn't really thick, and then my H part is really thin. But play around with that brush and the double loading, and you can see how much fun you can have by just learning how to move that brush from one side to the other with one or two coats of paint. Then you can come in here, guys, and put your my brain. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's a fun way. Sometimes with the letters, I like to fill it in and then come in here and do a shade, and then maybe halfway through bubble out that font a little bit. Sometimes I'll do both sides. So you just flip the brush so the darker color's on the other side, and try it again. It just gives you a different look. You can come in here with the flat part of the brush and add in, my brain has totally went to mush today. I can't even think of what these are called. Serifs. And use your paintbrush like that to do that. Guys, you can do this with a round brush. This one's very thick. Just make sure this is here so you can see it. I'll wet my round brush, say with full pink, and then I'll just take the one side of that brush and just lay it into another color of paint. Half the brush is pink, half the brush is blue. When I lay the brush down now to paint, you'll get a really pretty two-toned look, like you can get with the Tombos when you mix the two colors together with the same pen. And you just continue to lift and move your brush. So that just gives you a really pretty look. So I wanted to come on today. It's just a quickie, show you just a different way to change your lettering. It changes the look totally. And it's really fun to watch, using your different color combinations and finding different color combinations that are fun. So as I said, just a quick pop in today. Leave me questions on this video if you want me to go over something again, and we will be back again. We're going to just keep working until we finish everything up. So have a happy day, happy lettering, beautiful Friday, and I will see you guys soon.